How you doing, folks? This is BG from the Repairs of the Breach, and I want to talk about Ahab and a lesson that we can learn from Ahab. Now, from for those who don't know who Ahab is, Ahab was a king of Israel, and in which he was married to Jezebel. All right, and Ahab was considered probably the worst king of them all. All right, so I'm coming out of First Kings chapter 21, and let me go ahead and start reading for you so I can go ahead and get deeper into what I'm talking about. I'm starting at verse 2. All right. And Ahab spoke to Naboth, saying, Give me your vineyard, and it shall be a vegetable garden for me, since it adjoins my house. And let me give you a better vineyard for it. If it is good in your eyes, let me give you its worth in silver. And Naboth said to Ahab, Far be it from me by Yahuah that I should give the inheritance of my fathers to you. And Ahab went into his house, embittered and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Israelite had spoken to him when he said, I do not give you the inheritance of my fathers. And he lay down on his bed and turned away his face and did not eat food. And Isabel, which is Jezebel, I'm reading out the Hallelujah scriptures, okay? And Isabel his wife came to him and said to him, Why is your spirit so embittered that you are not eating food? And he said to her, Because I spoke to Naboth the Israelite and said to him, Give me your vineyard for silver, or if you prefer, I give you another vineyard for it. But he answered, I do not give you my vineyard. So Isabel his wife said to him, Do you now rule over Israel? Rise up, eat food, and let your heart be glad. Let me give you the vineyard of Naboth the Israelite. Then she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters to the elders and the nobles who were dwelling in the city with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, Proclaim a fast, and seat Naboth at the head of the people, and seek 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, You have blasphemed Elohim and the sovereign. Then you shall take him out and stone him to death. All right, folks, so this is what happened, all right? After Ahab was crying about him not being able to get some of his vineyard, the wicked Jezebel set up a fast, um, set 2 false witnesses against Naboth, and they said that he blasphemed Elohim, and they took Naboth out and they stoned him to death. All right. So let me continue on. Now I'm going to start on in verse 15 in chapter 21 of Kings. And it came to be when Isabel heard that Naboth had been stoned and was dead, that Isabel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Israelite, which he refused to give you for silver. For Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to be when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose to go down to take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Israelite. All right, so after all this, after knowing that what happened to Naboth, he still went down there. I'm talking about Ahab, still went down there to take possession of the vineyard. But his enemy, Elijah, all right, had some words for him that came to him from the Most High. All right, and let me continue on and start at verse 17. It says, And the word of Yahuah came to Eliyahu, again is Elijah, all right, the Tishbite, saying, Rise up, go down to meet Ahab, sovereign of Israel, who lives in Shemaron. See, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, where he has gone down to take possession of it. And you shall speak to him, saying, Thus says Yahuah, Have you murdered and also taken possession? And you shall speak to him, saying, Thus saith Yahuah, In the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, the dogs are going to lick your blood, even yours. And Ahab said to Eliyahu, Have you found me, O my enemy? And he answered, I have found you because you have sold yourself to do evil in the eyes of Yahuah. See, I am bringing evil on you, and shall consume your descendants, and cut off from Ahab every male in Israel, both those shut up and those left at large, and make your house like the house of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, son of Ahiah, because of the provocation with which you have provoked me and made Israel sin. And also of Isabel, Yahuah has spoken, saying, the dogs are going to eat Isabel by the wall of Israel. The dogs are going to eat whoever belongs to Ahab and dies in the city, and the birds of the Shemayim are going to eat whoever dies in the field. Indeed, there never was anyone like Ahab who sold himself to do evil in the eyes of Yahuah, because Isabel his wife stirred him up. He acted very abominably in following idols, according to all that the Amorites had done, whom Yahuah dispossessed before the children of Israel. All right. So right now, Yahuah is telling Ahab what he done. You know what I'm saying? He's like the worst king ever. He done put up idols up in his temple. He done followed the ways of Jeroboam. He done followed the ways of the Amorites. He done followed the ways of his wife, which Jezebel. She's not from the Canaanites, but she's from a seed of the Canaanites. If you understand what I'm saying, and you know, it was against the law to marry them. Okay. All right. Now let's go on further and let's see what Ahab's reaction was. All right. In verse 27, it says, and it came to be when Ahab heard those words that he tore his garments and put sackcloth on his body and fasted and lay in sackcloth and went softly. And the word of Yahuah came to Eliyahu the Tishbite, saying, see how Ahab has humbled himself before me. Because he has humbled himself before me, I do not bring evil in his days, but in the days of his sons I bring the evil on his house. All right, this is the point that I'm trying to get to. Now, Ahab was the worst king of them all. He set up idols of Baal and all this and all that. He was just a pagan king, you understand? But he humbled himself before the Most High. And the Most High forgave him and took away the punishment from him. All right. That's all I was trying to point out. That even though Ahab was this most wicked king, you know, Yahuah still found a place in his heart to forgive Ahab for the wrongs he done, simply because Ahab truly humbled himself before Yahuah, you know, and that goes for us, man. If we just truly humble ourselves before the Most High Yahuah, He will forgive us. You know, we just have to humble ourselves, you know. And that's the lesson that we can learn from this wicked king, that no matter how bad you've been, and this is Old Testament too, you know, this is Old Testament where Yahuah forgives. So you can't sit there and say that Yahuah didn't forgive in the Old Testament. I mean, he didn't play around, but he forgave. But all in all, Ahab ended up going back to his ways, and he ended up going into battle, trying to dress up like Jehoshaphat. And when he wasn't supposed to go on the battle, when he ended up getting killed, and the dogs ended up licking his blood anyway. So he had it good. All he had to do was keep following the Most High, but he decided to not listen, and he went in battle anyway. He tried to get, you know, he tried to have a trick where Jehoshaphat dressed like him, and he's dressed like Jehoshaphat, and you know they almost got Jehoshaphat, but Jehoshaphat screamed out, and they recognized that Jehoshaphat wasn't the king of Israel. The Jehoshaphat was the king of Yehuda or Judah. All right, so they found Ahab, and you know they shot him and killed him, all because Ahab didn't follow what the Most High said. So the lesson is humble yourself before the Most High, and He will forgive you. But if you go back to your ways, hey, anything could happen. But we better thank the Most High for His Son, because this was Old Testament days. A lot of us probably wouldn't be around now, including me. So we need to thank Yahuah for his son. To thank him for salvation, all right? All right, that's it. That's a lesson from Ahab. Humble yourself and you'll be forgiven. Don't listen, you'll perish. All right, everybody take it easy. Have a great day. Baruch Shalom.